Hey, hey, kids， 我有一点时间，我们现在继续读 The Phantom Tollbooth 第四个 chapter。那么这个 chapter 有点短，可是我认为我还是没有办法在比较短的时间之内读完，所以我还是把它分成两段。Okay, here we go. Confusion in the marketplace. Indeed it was, for as they approached, Milo could see crowds of people pushing and shouting their way among the stalls, buying and selling, trading and bargaining. Huge wooden-wheeled carts streamed into the market square from the orchards, and long caravans bound for the four corners of the kingdom made ready to leave. Sacks and boxes were piled high, waiting to be delivered to the ships that sailed the sea of knowledge. And off to one side, a group of minstrels sang songs, to the delight of those either too young or too old to engage in trade. But above all the noise and tumult of the crowd could be heard the merchants' voices loudly advertising their products. Bargaining 就是讨价还价，所以他们在买卖跟讨价还价。而且呢，他就 huge wooden carts 木头做的这个拖车就冲进来，就直接从种字母的地方就到了 Market Square。Caravan 就是一个车队，那么就装满了东西，然后要准备去整个 Dictionary 的这个 Kingdom made ready to leave， 装满了货了，要离开了。然后 minstrels 就是街头那些唱歌的啊，耍把戏的那些人。然后 engage in 就是从事买卖。他们说这些人唱歌跳舞为了谁呢？太年轻或者太老的来做买卖啦，他们就享受这些表演。Get your fresh-picked ifs, ands, and buts. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. Nice ripe wheres and whens. 他就把这些字 ifs, ands, and buts 就当成刚刚从树上摘下来的水果在卖了哈。Juicy, tempting words for sale. So many words and so many people. They were from every place imaginable, and some places even beyond that. And they were all busy sorting, choosing, and stuffing things into cases. As soon as one was filled, another was begun. There seemed to be no end to the bustle and activity. Bustle 就是很热闹哈。Milo and Tuck wandered up and down the aisles, looking at the wonderful assortment of words for sale. There were short ones and easy ones for everyday use, and long and very important ones for special occasions, and even some marvelously fancy ones packed into individual gift boxes for use in royal decrees and pronouncements. 很华丽的字就 individually packed， 就是被装在独立的礼物盒子里面，给干嘛呢？皇宫要宣告什么事情的时候用的。Step right up, step right up. Fancy, best quality words right here, announced one man in a booming voice. Step right up, huh? What can I do for you, little boy? How about a nice bag full of pronouns? Or maybe you would like our special assortment of names. Step right up 就是走近一点没有关系，快过来，快过来。Milo had never thought much about words before, but these looked so good that he longed to have some. 他以前从来没有关注过这些字，但是这些字看起来那么棒，那么连他都想要一点。Look, Tuck, he cried. Aren't they wonderful? They're fine, if you have something to say, replied Tuck in a tired voice, for he was much more interested in finding a bone than in shopping for new words. 这个狗懒洋洋的，可能只想找骨头。Maybe if I buy some, I can learn how to use them, said Milo eagerly as he began to pick through the words in the stall. Finally, he chose 3 which looked particularly good to him: quagmire, flabbergast, and upholstery. Quagmire 就是一个困境，被困住了。然后 flabbergast 就是很震惊，被震撼到了。flabbergasted, I was flabbergasted by 什么什么。upholstery 就是床单啊、窗帘啊那种布做的那种东西。He had no idea what they meant, but they looked very grand and elegant. Grand 就是很伟大雄伟的 ，elegant 就是很有这个很文雅的，这个怎么翻译啊 ？How much are these? He inquired. And when the man whispered the answer, he quickly put them back on the shelf and started to walk on. 他买不起哦，没钱哦。Why not take a few pounds of happies? Advised the salesman. They're much more practical and very useful for happy birthday, happy New Year, happy days, and happy-go-lucky. I would like to very much, began Milo, but... Or perhaps you'd be interested in a package of goods, always handy for good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and goodbyes, he suggested. 所以这个故事的意思好像就是说，你要买那些字，你才能够用，才能够说话、写文章一样。Milo did want to buy something, but the only money he had was the coin he needed to get back through the toll booth. And Tuck, of course, had nothing but the time. No, thank you, replied Milo. We're just looking. And they continued on through the market. As they turned down the last aisle of stalls, Milo noticed a wagon that seemed different from the rest. On its side was a small, neatly lettered sign that said, "Do it yourself." And inside were 26 bins filled with all the letters of the alphabet from A to Z. These are for people who like to make their own words, the man in charge informed him. You can pick any assortment you like or buy a special box complete with all the letters, punctuation marks, and a book of instructions. Here, taste an A. They are very good. Milo nibbled carefully at the letter and discovered that it was quite sweet and delicious, just the way you would expect an A to taste. I knew you would like it, laughed the letterman, popping 2 G's and an R into his mouth and letting the juice drip down his chin. A's are one of our most popular letters. 所以到底是要当水果吃还是要当字来用啊 ？All of them aren't that good, he confided in a low voice. 他说他们并不是每一个字母都这么好哈，他就很偷偷的跟他分享。Take the Z, for instance, very dry and sawdusty. Sawdust, 锯子的灰，就是你锯木头会掉下来的灰，所以这个是又难吃又干。And the X, why? It tastes like a trunk full of stale air. 好像是一个很老的箱子里面的那个已经很陈腐的空气了，就是被闷在一个地方很久的空气。That's why people hardly ever use them. But most of the others are quite tasty. Try some more. He gave Milo an I, which was icy and refreshing, and Tuck a crisp, crunchy C. Most people are just too lazy to make their own words, he continued, but it's much more fun. Is it difficult? I'm not much good at making words, admitted Milo, spitting the pits from a P. 他居然还可以把 P 里面的那个籽给吐出来。 Perhaps I can be of some assistance. ASSISTANCE buzzed an unfamiliar voice. And when Milo looked up, he saw an enormous bee, at least twice his size, sitting on top of the wagon. 哇，所以这个故事有一个新的角色进来了，他就是 Spelling Bee。OK， 上半段讲到这里，我们下半段继续。